Hello everyone, and welcome to our latest developer update stream where we'll be diving into everything coming with Season of Divine Intervention, which is arriving on December 11th, rolling out around 8:30 p.m. We've got a big show for you today. I'm joined by some very familiar faces, some new ones, but some familiar ones, to take you through everyone here. First off, we've got Miss Aislinn Hall. Welcome back to the stream.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm Aislinn. I typically work on Seasons. I'm on the final design team as a systems designer.
And hi, my name is Owen Leach. I am the lead encounter designer, and I'm also the seasons lead for Season of Divine Intervention.
Hey, I'm Art Peshkov. I'm the lead systems designer.
Hi, I'm Charles Dunn. I'm a class designer working on the final design team.
Hello, I'm Zaban Hartunian. I'm an associate game director on Diablo IV.
And a PSA for everyone at home. We have cut the AC in here, and there's a lot of us, so it is going to get steamy. I think Owen and I will be regretting our holiday sweater choices pretty soon. But yeah, for all you watching at home, we do have a Twitch drop for this stream. Be sure to link your account and watch any eligible channel, and you'll get the Unhilted Striker one-handed sword cosmetic. So you can watch for 30 minutes. It should be live by now. So yeah, check it out in any eligible channel. So we've got a ton to cover for this stream for Season of Divine Intervention. We had the PTR back in October, which feels like ages ago, but we got a ton of feedback. Thank you all for jumping in. Right now, we're just about to wrap up Season of Infernal Chaos. If you haven't gotten Pandora from the season journey, be sure to complete those objectives. Throughout the stream, we're going to get into PTR learnings. We're going to look at the changes coming with masterworking and itemization. And then towards the end of the stream, we are going to jump into Q&A. So get your questions ready. We will have members of the community team grabbing those throughout the stream. And then right at the end, we will jump into Q&A. But before we do that, we do have an excellent asset prep for you guys we can check out that goes through everything coming with Season of Divine Intervention. So we'll take a look.
Welcome, everyone, to our Season of Divine Intervention developer update. I'm Art Peshkov, and today I'm excited to share some updates coming to Diablo IV. Let's dive right in, starting with itemization. Tempering and masterworking are getting a big overhaul. We've refocused these systems on what matters most: customization and prestige. From now on, there will be no more random rolls. You will now be able to select the specific temper you want. While these tempered affixes have various ranges on them, there is now a chance for the applied affix to be a greater affix. While items can now only have one tempered affix, as opposed to two, we're increasing the number of base affixes found on non-unique items from 3 to 4. Lastly, tempering charges can be restored indefinitely. Masterworking now improves the overall quality of your item, giving a direct bonus to its affixes as well as base damage, armor, or resistance. You can masterwork your items up to a maximum quality threshold of 25. And here's the best part. Once you hit that max quality, you get one final roll for a capstone bonus. This capstone bonus masterworks an affix, which boosts its value by 50%. This boost stacks with the greater affix bonus and the effects of quality. You'll be able to re-roll that masterworked affix without losing your hard-earned masterworking quality. These changes are designed to give you more control, more excitement, and more opportunities to build your perfect character. In an effort to better equalize effective health across classes and builds, we're making several changes to the way effective health interacts with damage reduction and how those individual stats are calculated. Our goal is to streamline player defenses while properly testing them as you climb through difficulty tiers, putting more emphasis on gearing your builds towards survivability. Potions are now more impactful and tactical than ever. First up, your base potion capacity is now set to 4, no matter your previous renown progress. Everyone starts with 4 potions. And here's the real game changer. Potion healing is now instant and percentage based. Whenever you use a potion, you'll heal for 35% of your total health immediately. But that's not all. In addition to the potions you pick up, you'll slowly regenerate a potion every 30 seconds. So even in the heat of battle, you'll have a steady supply coming your way. To balance things out, we're bringing back Life on Hit as a potential affix. We've also boosted the values for life regeneration, life on kill, and healing percent. These stats are now easier to find and more powerful than before. And finally, healing potion upgrades are gone. Since potions now heal a portion of your overall health, upgrades just aren't needed. These changes are designed to make every potion use count, giving you more ways to stay alive and thrive in Sanctuary. To work in tandem with the updates to healing and potions, Fortify is shifting from a type of damage reduction to something much more dynamic. An additional reservoir of life that's drained to heal you over time. Here's how it works. Whenever you gain Fortify, it will now stack up to your maximum life. And when you're below your maximum life, you'll heal for a percentage of your maximum life per second, in exchange for an equal amount of Fortify. This redesign is all about giving you more ways to survive the tough battles and strategize your defenses as you climb through the difficulty tiers.
Get ready to fight tougher, smarter elites as you fight your way through Sanctuary. Monsters will now react and adapt to combat, driven by their expressed desire to end your life. Each monster has its own clear role and identity when fighting, so you'll notice their behavior is no longer predictable. They'll be more dynamic in how they respond to you in battle. Expect your defenses to be tested. These intelligent packs will deal damage more regularly, and you'll need to stay sharp. Monster affixes are now more powerful, making them a priority to deal with before moving on to other enemies. Monster packs will also group up less, making them harder to take out in one fell swoop. Their tactics have improved, and so yours should too. And for those seeking a challenge, Champion enemy rarity has been reworked to form champion packs. Get ready to face a whole new level of challenge in Sanctuary. First up, we've added over 20 new monster affixes for you to learn and conquer. That means every elite encounter will feel fresh and challenging. But that's not all. Elites now spawn with minions that inherit some of their affixes, making each battle even more dynamic and unpredictable. We've also taken a close look at enemy affixes overall, making them more engaging, reducing overlap in their design, and improving visual clarity so you can better strategize in the heat of combat. In the seasonal realm, hellish activities are now under siege by the baleful lesser evils, each bringing their own brand of malice. Duriel dominates Helltide. Belial rules the Pit. And Dariel commands the Kurast Undercity. Meanwhile, Azmodan stalks across Sanctuary, appearing as the first new world boss in multiple locations. But that's not all. Just south of Zarbinzet, you'll find 3 summoning altars where Azmodan can be called forth at will. Each altar invokes Azmodan with powers borrowed from one of the other 3 lesser evils. And as you battle these enemies, defeating them with their respective purified or corrupted gifts will grant you divine favor. This divine favor levels up your divine gifts and helps you progress through the seasonal reputation board. This season, the angel Hadriel has returned to Sanctuary, bringing rare boons to aid you in the fight against the newly returned lesser evils. Hadriel shares a fraction of the power of the high heavens, and these blessings manifest as divine gifts, offering you both great rewards and exciting opportunities. Each divine gift has 3 components: a reward, a corrupted gift, and a purified gift. Within your inventory's divine gifts panel, you can slot these gifts in 2 ways. Place them in the interior slot to activate the purified gift. Place them in the exterior slot to activate the corrupted gift. When slotted, your divine gift will trigger its reward bonus, increasing the benefits for that specific gift. Corrupted gifts make related activities more challenging, but still grant the reward bonus. Purified gifts, on the other hand, remove the negative effect, add a positive effect, and double the reward gained. Corrupted gift slots are unlocked automatically. To unlock purified gift slots, progress through the seasonal reputation board.
Sanctification is your chance to channel the power of the angels and infuse it directly into your items. When you sanctify an item, here's what can happen. Your item gains bonus quality. Replace an existing affix with a random sanctified affix. An existing affix could be upgraded into a powerful greater affix. Add a bonus affix from a special pool of sanctified affixes. Gain a bonus legendary power. Once you sanctify an item, it becomes unmodifiable. That's the final step in your item's journey, so make it count.
We're introducing Season Rank as an update to our previous player progression system, Season Journey. This update introduces a change to how players progress through seasons, with a slew of new challenges ahead. Let's talk first about tiers. Each tier now requires you to complete a challenge, usually a capstone dungeon, before you can move up to the next rank. If you're up for it, you don't have to wait for the recommended level or difficulty. This means you can now enter Torment before max level, if you can beat max level challenges early. So, if you're feeling brave, you can take on these capstone dungeons early and push your limits. Some of the notable rewards, alongside skill points and paragon points, will be gaining access to Pit and Tower after beating Capstone 2, gaining access to seasonal laurels at rank 3, receiving the seasonal pet after Capstone 5, access to gilded laurels at rank 7. Let's talk about capstone dungeons, because they're back and ready to test your progress as you climb through the difficulty tiers. These dungeons are designed to challenge you at every step of your journey. And here's something important to remember. Even though each capstone dungeon lists a suggested level, their difficulty doesn't scale with your current level. So plan your approach carefully. Here's a look into the journey ahead. Within the seasonal realm, you can earn additional benefits tied to your player progress through the new Season Rank system. Completing various challenges within each rank will unlock specific benefits. And when you finish an entire rank, you'll earn powerful bonuses. Season Rank rewards additional skill points at ranks 1 through 3, and paragon points at ranks 3 through 6. With these changes, your renown will only stand permanently in the Eternal Realm. And don't forget, the potion capacity changes also affect the Eternal Realm. And for those exploring Sanctuary, Altars of Lilith and Tenets of Akarat will continue to grant some experience and minor rewards, but not permanent stats or power.
And now for our class updates. A fan-favorite Chaos perk for Sorceress from the Season of Infernal Chaos, Mana Shield, has inspired a redesign to the mythic unique Melted Heart of Selig. Now, all classes will be able to access a massively increased resource pool that also functions as your life total. Sorceress's new unique weapon, Orsavane, grants you great power, but only if you build your character like a glass cannon and avoid using defensive skills. For each defensive skill you are not using, you gain increased damage and access to its associated enchantment effect. What is better than one golem? How about 3 slightly smaller golems instead? Necromancer's new unique mace, Gravebloom, grows your golem army. And should one golem fall, it comes back even faster. Whether using Gravebloom or not, casting your golem's active skill will now command your other minions to focus their attacks on your new target. This season, rogues are doing a Dance of Death, or rather, a Dance of Knives with Death's Pavane. These unique pants cause your Dance of Knives to drop knives from enemies hit, and picking them up further empowers your Dance of Knives. Additionally, Shadow Clone's targeting logic has been updated, and will now target the same enemy that you initially targeted with your skill. This dramatically improves Shadow Clone's consistency when using skills that require precise aiming, like Penetrating Shot and Rapid Fire. Druid's new unique boots, Kamsin Stepwalkers, is one of the most potent mobility items in the game. Build up charge with your nature magic skills, And at max stacks, you gain the maximum possible movement speed and unhindered, and you immobilize enemies you pass through. With the rework to the Bad Omen passive, you will also be constantly zapping all the enemies along the way. Barbarians love a good brawl, but Chain Scourged Mail changes everything you know about brawling. Casting a brawling skill will disable it afterwards, and once you have cast every brawling skill on your bar, they are all re-enabled with their cooldowns refreshed. The more skills you chain together in your brawling combo, the bigger the damage boost. Spiritborn are always on the move, and with Path of the Emissary, the more you move, the more you attack. These unique boots constantly unleash core skills from your primary Spirit Hall as you traverse the battlefield. Want to do even more damage while moving? Rushing Claw has received a massive buff as well. Combine these to absolutely shred the monsters of Sanctuary.
A new challenge is coming to Sanctuary, one designed to test the mettle of the most battle-hardened warriors. Introducing the Tower. This is a multi-stage, timed dungeon built for the elite. While the pit pushes you to your limits in the depths, the Tower rises to match you against others who think themselves worthy. We're launching the Tower as a brand new game mode, and this is just the beginning. We plan to update the Tower through multiple seasons, and your feedback will help shape its future. The Tower was built with our new monster combat changes in mind. You'll need to master the latest enemy tactics to gain the upper hand and climb to the top. You'll unlock the Tower through the obelisk in Karagar. Here's how it works. Fight through multiple floors, each with randomized layouts and monster families. Progress by defeating monsters and collecting orbs. The tougher the monster, the higher their value. During your run, pylons appear as you make progress. You're guaranteed to see 4 pylons in every tower run. The first 3 will appear in a random order, but you'll always get each option at least once. The 4th pylon will be a random repeat of one of the previous 3. Orbs drop from elites, champions, and goblins, so keep an eye out for those high-value targets. With the arrival of the Tower, leaderboards are making their triumphant return to Diablo IV. This is where the best of the best will compete for the top spot. After your Tower run, you'll see the Tower tier you completed and your final time. There will be separate leaderboards for hardcore and normal modes, so everyone has a chance to shine. We have big plans for leaderboards. For now, we're focused on introducing the core functionality, collecting feedback, and planning ahead for future updates. Tower and leaderboards will be enabled later in the season, so stay tuned for updates through our upcoming blogs and notes. These are just a few of the exciting updates coming in the season of Divine Intervention. See you all in Sanctuary.
Whew, okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. There's a ton coming this season. I didn't mention it earlier, but the patch notes for the upcoming season and the blog are now live. So for anything we chat about across the stream, you can go and check those out. Following the stream, we'll have a ton of additional information in there. But if you have any other questions, also don't forget, drop those in Twitch chat because we will be collecting them throughout the stream. But yeah, we got to talk about, we had our PTR back in October. We had a ton of feedback. We're all really excited to get into it. So Owen, I mean, the Lesser Evils are back. Hadriel's back. Yeah. Asmodan's here. He's back with all his piercings and whatnot. So
all the piercings.
All the piercings are back.
2 very specific piercings. Yeah. But no, yeah, we're super excited. The season of Divine Intervention, heaven and hell battling it out. It's really going to be great. So I want to talk a bit about sort of our PTR learnings and sort of what we've changed from PTR to what we're going to release. So there's a lot of little things that we changed, and I encourage you to read those patch notes. So I'll focus mainly on the things that people maybe want to hear the most or that they dislike the most. So going through the different Lesser Evil invasion activities, we'll start with the pit. So With Belial, some of you folks may have noticed that he likes to monologue, like Syndrome, if you'll, incredible reference, sorry. And he'd have to give his whole death speech before you actually won the pit run. We fixed that. You kill Belial, you'll win the pit run immediately. We did some improvements on the eyeballs that you had to click in the pit. It's very difficult in the pit to click something specifically, especially on controller. So now if you just walk up to one of those eyeballs, it'll pop and you won't have to actually pixel hunt for that thing. We also got feedback on the Belial ambush things. He'll pop up and do an attack and he'll taunt you and say some stuff. But that did a knockback and was happening fairly often. We got some pretty strong feedback that maybe that was annoying. So we got rid of the feedback. We had him pop up less. But the pit is fresh. It's awesome. We really encourage you to check it out. We also did a ton of updates to the Undercity. But again, just to focus on the high-level ones of some specific pain points. We reduced the time-stealing effects in the Undercity a lot. Andariel would show up and she would steal a lot of different time. Time with her different attacks. We reduced that a lot. Her Nightmare Dungeon affixes that we sort of imposed upon the Undercity, we reduced those as well, just to make it a little more engaging and less punishing for, we don't want to make it 10 times more difficult, but it's still really fresh, and Aislin's going to talk about all the awesome changes we made to things like loot for the Undercity and stuff like that. We fixed the bug where we weren't even dropping Undercity tributes, so those will show up and you can use those. I totally encourage you to check it out. And then there's this stupid quirk with the Andariel boss fight that we fixed in PTR where like she would be stuck in a phase transition until she played her whole animation. So we fixed that. If you bring her down past the life threshold, you can just nuke her. You're not gonna have to sit there and watch her.
She's dramatic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she's very dramatic. Yeah, the anguish for our player, right? We updated Helltide. Everybody loved that screen vignette effect. No, I'm just kidding. We took the screen vignette effect off. That was causing some motion sickness stuff. So if that was bothering you, that's gone now. You may have also noticed that the XP globes that maggots were dropping were a little overtuned in the fact that you could gain 40 levels in 2 minutes. So obviously we reduced that to make it more in line with the intended pace of the game. We added new Helltide commanders, a bunch of new enemies, so it'll feel even fresher than it was in PTR. And then lastly, we gave Duriel some more attacks. So if you don't pay attention, he will eat you and he will kill you. So have fun with that.
Nice.
And then the last event, that's Azmodan. So we got such great feedback on Azmodan, and people love seeing him back, and it's the first time that all 4 Lesser Evils are together in a Diablo game, like super exciting. And we didn't change too much about that. The only thing we changed was in the How Is Our Overland event. Well, first and foremost, you're not going to gain 40 levels anymore from killing a world boss. Obviously, yeah, it was missed a 0 or something at some point, but all world bosses will reward appropriate level of EXP. So, yeah, sorry for your speed living strats, guides that have already been written. We also added resilience to that How Was Our event to prevent just one tapping when he would show up. So you'll get to experience the full world boss fight, as you do with every other world boss event. And then we also updated the Lesser Evil influences. So if you're not familiar with the How Was Our event, you could interact with shrines from Andariel or Duriel and Belial, and that would affect the Azmodan boss fight. We updated those to be a lot clearer and a lot more obvious as to like what is happening from those, and a lot more deadly. So it will matter which one you pick. So really excited to see sort of how you react to the new added twists on the Azmodan world boss. So the other part I want to talk about is Evolved Monster Combat. So we were just sort of blown away by the reception of Evolved Monster Combat. Folks really enjoyed the added challenge, the 20+ new affixes that we added. But again, there were some pain points, so we wanted to focus on 2 specific areas for improvement, and that is the spikiness as well as the visual clarity. So I'll talk about spikiness first. Spikiness in 2 ways. One, the damage. We looked across the board at all the different new affixes and identified any outliers that were dealing just too much damage or weren't obvious enough in terms of where they're going to hit, things like that, and just standardize that damage so you don't run into a tower run and you're like, well, that guy's got crackling soul, F this, I'm out, right? Like, no, so nothing will be exponentially more punishing than anything else. And we also looked at the spikiness of CC. We heard you loud and clear that maybe there was too much CC, or you didn't, it was happening too often, or you didn't see it coming. So we took a good hard look at all CC that was being applied by our elite affixes. We created some rules that bound how often it can show up or how long it will last, and created standardization across the board. We also just reduced generally how often they appear. And we also focused a lot on the lower level player experience to make sure that from the get-go you're not getting smoked by all these new combat changes. And I'm sure some of the other folks will talk a little bit more about that. And then the last part is our visual clarity. There was a lot of feedback that maybe some of the things were harder to see what was happening, or they were getting killed from things they never saw. So we did a lot. We did a visual pass on all of our affixes. We even updated the visuals on elites and champions, so they had a little bit of an aura, but now they're going to have like a blue and yellow shimmer to them, so they'll stand out amongst the packs. We even removed the overhead icons to try to reduce that visual noise. So now when you know an elite with 5 minions show up, you're not going to have what's 4 times whatever I just said, 6, right? Yeah, 24 different little icons across the board. You'll still see it when you hover your mouse over it, so you'll know what affixes they have, but it'll just feel clearer and crisper, and it'll feel much better. So we're really excited. We appreciate all the feedback from PTR, and we think that combat is in the best spot it's ever been since D4's launch.
I actually remember the first time I got to go in and test Evolved Monster Combat. I didn't realize we were actually like making them have like the blue icons and like blue and yellow. And I remember seeing it and I was just like, this is awesome. So I'm super excited for you guys to try it out. If you didn't try it on the PTR, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and I think too, like with Season of Divine Intervention, there's so many times you're gonna be fighting Belial and Dariel. So like, I know there's a lot of feedback around speeding up those phases, so having those changes in so that now you can skip a few of those phases and just get those fights kind of done more quickly, especially because you're going to be running them so often. Is really nice to see. But yeah, for people, if you haven't played in a few seasons, jumping into this Evolved Monster Combat, it's going to feel really different. I know I heard a designer like a few days ago saying like, hey, we expect players to die. So keep your feedback coming because it should be challenging. But hopefully, yeah, we can strike that right balance. And speaking of players, if you haven't been around for a while, we've got some very exciting changes coming to itemization with this next season. Turns out tempering will no longer be random. You'll be able to select the temper that you want on your item. So Art, I mean, we got a lot of feedback from the PTR. We got changes to masterworking. We've got sanctification coming this season. It's a really exciting time for items.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for the feedback. It was really invaluable. We took some pretty big swings with the things that we tried to do in the Season of Divine Intervention. And coming up like on the changes to tempering, really, we were really happy with the kind of how we reframe tempering. Now it's a deterministic way to kind of customize your item. What we noticed is that there was a lack of like excitement and emphasis. So one of the changes that we made in the PTR is that when you temper a ancestral item, you now have a chance for the tempered affix to crit and upgrade into a GA version of that affix, which is something that couldn't happen before, which is really, really cool. Kind of going down the line, for masterworking, we have 2 key changes that we wanted to make to the system. The first one is that quality wasn't quite doing a good enough job of kind of being the generally make your item better system. So now, in addition to increasing the base damage, armor, or resistance of your item, quality is also going to increase the affix values of your item. So generally, your numbers just go up when you quality an item. And we've also increased the threshold of quality to 25. So you'll be able to get a 25% boost to the base stat and the affixes on your item just by taking it through the quality phase of masterworking.
So at this point, quality more or less affects almost everything on an item.
Yeah, everything except for like the legendary power or unique power on the item.
Right.
And then the second big change that we wanted to make to masterworking is with the masterworked affix. We call it the capstone. We tried to streamline the system, but we kind of went too far, and there was a little bit too, we took out too much of the optimization and kind of like build expression from the system. So the masterworked affix, the capstone, it can once again stack with greater affixes. It's not mutually exclusive anymore. So you can like really target the specific affix that you want to boost and kind of hyper optimize that. For sanctification, thank you for we were blown away by the feedback. The thing that we noticed pretty consistently is that we just kind of under-tuned it, right? Like it's a seasonal itemization feature. The amount of power that it needs to bring it has to be pretty high, and we were just a bit too conservative with where we landed. So we made a couple of changes to sanctification. The first one is that the indestructible outcome is just gone. It's been entirely replaced by a new outcome, and this new outcome adds bonus quality. So if this outcome happens, your item will get 5 to 25 quality added to it as a bonus. This stacks with the quality for masterworking. So there's that. Next up, change affix. This was one that we heard a lot of feedback on. So what we've done here is we've made it so that the change affix outcome can no longer occur on ancestral uniques or mythic unique items. So don't worry, your hypothetical Shaco with GA CDR that you were going to hit change affix on, and that can't happen anymore. So, and then lastly, we added some more stuff to the legendary pools in Sanctification. First off, there were some things just missing, like there were a bunch of offensive legendaries that were just missing. And second off, I don't want to spoil it, but I added some kind of crazy shit in there. So you guys can find it, and yeah. That's it. There's a couple other changes we made to base items to kind of go along with the revised item journey. We realized that players are going to be like going through the crafting flows and sanctifying and going through a lot more items. So we wanted to make it a little bit easier for you to get multi-GA items. So what we've done is we've increased the chance for you to get 2, 3, and 4 GA items when an ancestral item drops. Right? And then lastly, on the itemization space, we wanted to make it a little bit easier for people to hit like critical breakpoints with things like CDR. So we've added some of these affixes onto item slots that they weren't previously available before. That's it for the itemization stuff. One other important thing, kind of topic that I want to hit is toughness. We got a lot of great feedback on toughness, and kind of the thing that we want to make better with toughness is for you to understand like where you need to be at and what is actually happening with your defenses. So we made a couple of changes to really just provide you with more information. First and foremost is we added in toughness to the item comparison. So like when you're comparing 2 pieces of armor, it'll actually tell you like how much your toughness is going to change by a percentage amount. We added a bunch more information to the detailed stats pane for toughness. It'll tell you your effective DR per damage type and stuff like that now. And finally, in the difficulty selection screen, we added some minimum recommended toughness settings per torment tier. So you have like something to shoot for, an idea of where to shoot for, as you enter a new torment tier.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so a lot coming with itemization this season. I'm really excited for Sanctification. I feel like a lot of the feedback I was seeing was, even though it hasn't launched yet, is please don't take it out of the game. So not much we can do there, but definitely enjoy it for Season of Divine Intervention, that's for sure. But yeah, really exciting changes, and I'm pumped for the differences to tempering. That's going to be really, really, really nice heading into this next season. Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Okay. So next up, we do have some big changes coming to how we're going to move through the no longer season journey, now season rank. Aislinn,
yes.
How are things changing next season?
Yeah, well, we have 3 broad topics in my section here that I'm going to be talking through. The first is actually just general economy and leveling changes. I want to touch on a few things, so please clap. There's going to be, you're going to be able to teleport directly to the training grounds now, so that's great, pretty awesome. And that's in addition to adding vendors to the training grounds that we did in PTR, so it's just a lot nicer quality of life. The second is that you're going to unlock all waypoints as long as you pick the appropriate campaign skip. So no more running around, you'll just be able to grab them immediately and zap wherever you want. And then the other economy and leveling thing we have is we took a big holistic look at Undercity rewards in general. So we found that they didn't feel like super focused when you went into the Undercity, and they also didn't feel like they were giving you appropriate loot at various points in the player journey. So we kind of just buffed the hell out of it. Like in general, like it's a lot better now. If you're low level and you go into the one that gives you experience, it will give you quite a bit more experience. Not 40 levels Maggot or Azmodan worth, but a good amount. And so I highly recommend you actually run your tributes. Like, they're super worth it now. They give you lots of great stuff. So go in there and try out the Undercity. It's going to be great. And, and Dario's going to be in there, too.
Yeah, I would encourage really anybody who hasn't played Undercity or gave it a shot one time when Vessel of Hatred launched and haven't played it since. We've changed so much. I mean, talk about all those tributes. We even added new tributes for Endario specifically, and it's going to be way more rewarding. And just mechanically, it's been updated across the board. So if you haven't, and if you don't even know what it is, it's this really awesome time-based mode. I promise it's fun as hell. So definitely check it out. Yeah.
Do it. But yeah, moving on to season ranks, the new feature we added in the PTR. So we straight up just added 12 more Paragon points to the game that you get from that. So yeah, that's a thing now. They're going to be distributed in large and small clusters throughout the season rank system. It's also available on Eternal Renown as well. And then we also found that we were getting a lot of feedback about like, oh, hey, the capstone rewards from actually beating a capstone dungeon don't actually feel significant enough for like how it feels like it should be. And so we increased the number of skill points you get from capstone dungeons from 1 to 2. So that's a bigger burst now. And the caches you get from them that give you loot are just like way better as well. So highly encourage you to go try out the capstones pretty much as soon as you're capable of doing it, because it's going to be a huge burst of power for your character.
Yeah, you really, really feel it in your progression if you do a capstone early.
Yes, yes, it's a big burst. And then finally, we added all the cosmetic goodies to season ranks that were omitted from PTR, so there's going to be a lot of cool stuff in there, including laurels, which is a new thing in the season rank system. Nifty little laurel wreath that goes on your character's nameplate, so you can show off how good at the game you are. And there's also a golden laurel you can get from beating the last season rank, which is going to be pretty hard this season. It's going to take a lot to beat the last season rank. So for all those people that have been saying like, oh, I wish there was like more, the game was asking me to do more things because I want to play more Diablo, there are objectives that are asking you to do quite a few things now in the final rank. So there's a lot of content there. Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like with Season of Witchcraft, like seeing everyone flying around with Dorian, like
oh yeah,
seeing that extra kind of peacock, because now the pet of the year in this season will be rank 5. You beat rank 5.
Yes.
So now I feel like the laurel will be the new chase item to see.
Oh,
like
yeah.
once you're in town, see people walking around with their golden laurels. It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And I know like there was a lot of feedback in the PTR regarding how long it takes to defeat a capstone boss. Like I know
Yes.
you can go in, you can challenge the boss at any point you feel powerful enough. But it's nice to hear that we have like kind of sped up that boss.